part so much that I want to run for the whole of it. It's absurd. But the point is, Mitt Romney's going to be the guy, arguably, because they're pushing him to the front. Evangelicals won't vote for him because he's Mormon. They'll pair him with an evangelical to try and balance that vote out. It'll never happen.
No, they're bringing Perry in.
But, yeah, but he won't fare any better.
You think because it's, you know, we've got to get another Texan in because it's already been 3 years since we had one.
Right, and he did so well.
But the angle here is Obama, people thought he would fix everything so quickly that,
he'd fix that
I think people are going to run back over to, let me tell you, the big wig Republicans.
They did it.
And I said this 2 years ago, Rick Perry.
They did it in 2010. The run back.
He has knelt before Bilderberg.
That I don't doubt. But the 2010 vote was them running back to the other side, and you've got Boehner and Cantor in charge of things. And these guys are corporatists of the highest order. Mitt Romney is the guy who, old school corporatist, rolls in, buys up a company, a local company, run by a local CEO, buys it up.
Hey, since we got you guys in here,
sends it overseas.
And the first 30 minutes was nothing but screaming and yelling, you guys want to do 20 minutes of overdrive so we can take phone calls?
I love it.
And we're going to get some headphones on you.
Okay.
And we're going to send subliminal messages in to program your brain.
Is that how it works?
Probably
just joking. Since you're starting,
old technology.
Since you're starting more, that's right. That's right. Drink Coca-Cola. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Mark Craighead, founder of Crossbreed Holsters. I designed our top-selling holster, the Super Tuck Deluxe, to solve the problems of being poked, pinched, and gouged while carrying concealed. The Super Tuck Deluxe is the most comfortable, most concealable holster on the market today. We offer a 2-week free trial and a lifetime warranty.
Visit us at crossbreedholsters.com. Don't forget, crossbreedholsters.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Hello, this is Steve Shank. What does freedom mean to you? eFoods Direct is celebrating freedom with the Freedom Food Giveaway. Each week in July, they are giving away a 1-year food supply. Just go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and register to win a 1-year food supply with a 25-year shelf life. At efoodsdirect.com/Alex, look for the new Patriot Pack, a $149 12-day supply of food, plus accessories that is free with a purchase of $235 or more. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, and register to win a free 1-year supply of food. Then listen to Alex Jones to announce the weekly winners. Also, the first 50 to register each day win a $50 subscription to the Voice of Reason e-newsletter. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633.
OpticsPlanet.com is where discerning gun owners and outdoorsmen go to gear up. Optics Planet has the best selection of rifle scopes, red dots, night vision, holsters, bags, and tactical gear on the planet, with always low prices, free shipping on most orders, and expert customer service. Go to OpticsPlanet.com/GCN to get a free gift with purchase. That's OpticsPlanet.com/GCN or call 800-332-OPTICS, 800-332-6784.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Look at your women crying. Look at your young men dying the way they've always done before.
Okay, folks, we're going to go about 20 minutes into overdrive and open the phones up. And I know a lot of these callers are already holding on other issues, but I'm sure these guys can comment and Tell us how good it is, especially Hal, that they've got TV ads running that the white guy's going to get you. I was against the ads running that the Muslims are going to get you, but or tattle on your neighbor. But I'm joking. We'll get your take on all that. I know you know 9/11's a fraud. Now, Mark, Mike, Dangerous, Tim, everybody, we're going to get to you. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. People always ask why I have a deep voice, because I never took voice lessons. When I scream at people, I actually really scream, and the voice just gets deeper over the years until someday I'll sound like a giant toad who just goes bleh. But again, the websites are Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. Our guest sites are HalSparks.com and RichardHunterShow.com. And I want Richard to get a chance to pop in and talk here some. Richard, Hal says he's seen Endgame.
Yeah.
Blueprint for Global Enslavement. And I brought that up and I said, look, you can have debates about whether government's good or not or how big it should be. I've done a study of these people, and the dominant Western powers, they made a deal with China on this, and they have a lot of excuses of why it's good. There is a giant covert world population reduction program going on. Do you guys think, A, that that's going on, or I'm lying, or B, is it a good idea?
Well,
where do you start?
Yeah, is it going on? You know, I don't know. I mean, I think one thing that I think is so important about these conversations is that nothing is off the table. I don't hear anything just on premise and go, oh, you're crazy. Right. Don't tell me that our government. One need only look as far as the Tuskegee experiments to know that the U.S. federal government is capable of doing something very bad.
Specifically,
and
people within
that's an understatement.
The US
absolutely.
Government.
So I don't think there's any. I think it's key to question. I guess my issue with it all is with sort of an all or nothing approach. You know, drown federal government in a bathtub or blow it up so big that it's in control of everything. Both of those perspectives.
The answer is informed, involved people, and as Thomas Jefferson said, educate the general public about facts and science and information, and tyranny will vanish like phantoms at dawn.
But
that's why they undercut the Department of Education. That's why you don't want the Department. That's why you don't want
the U.S. education was a lot better before we had that. I've had the former head of policy, Charlotte Iserby, on. She was there in the 80s, and they had a program in the Department of Education to dumb people down.
But there's got to be.
Yeah, but that's the 80s mentality of the Ronald Reagans of the world. They hate big government organizations, so you run the government organization you don't like into the ground.
No. It was science. She released the documents. This was going on decades before her too.
Yeah, but
this was to dumb people down by design.
That's the existence of the Department of Education is the negative instead of using it properly.
So you think a centralized educating system is a good idea and not a diverse one?
I think a standard of intelligence.
Thomas Jefferson was trained at home.
But here's
Abraham Lincoln was trained at home.
Right.
Socrates and Alexander the Great were trained at home.
And what he came up with eventually was the common good, that we should actually provide for the education and welfare of the country. That's what he came to, is that I was lucky. I had people at home that would teach me, but you might not, and you're getting half the information and all this theocratic nonsense, and I'm having to deal with you in open business.
Yeah, like environmental brainwashing, telling 5-year-olds about different types of sex. They shouldn't even be talking about that. It should be reading, writing, and arithmetic.
But doesn't there have to be
science?
But they inject whatever they can for social training and social engineering in school instead of reading, writing, and arithmetic.
But doesn't there have to be a hybrid of that? Because if there's not, that's how things like Jim Crow laws are allowed to exist. I mean, if you completely deregulate and you leave people up to their own state-to-state devices, which in some instances I'm in favor of, I'm just saying if you totally pull the federal government out of it, then that is how you get black people not being allowed to eat at a diner.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you have a bunch of kids who aren't, their only experience of
Hold on, we'll talk more about that. We got to go to break. Back in 60 seconds, going into overdrive. Main transmission's over.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We are now into hour number 4 today. We're going to do 20 minutes overdrive, and we'll go into retransmission with our big top story that's gone viral all over the internet. This will get read by 5 million people today. DHS video characterizes white Americans as most likely terrorists. You got to see it to believe it. We have a TV host, comedian, he's done it all, talk soup, you name it. With us, Hal Sparks. We've also got Richard Hunter with us for this short segment and the next long segment. And we're going to your phone calls right now. Mike in New York, you are on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Welcome. So do you have any questions or comments for our guest, or what's your statement?
Yeah, I'd like to talk briefly about the 10th anniversary of 9/11 coming up.
Sure, go ahead.
A couple buddies and I are just trying to raise some awareness. We put together a video, a website, put some flyers out there in conjunction with We Are Change, just trying to get as many people out to Ground Zero on the 11th as possible. I truly think this is the big one, 10th anniversary.
Yeah, so the government can't just use the deaths again to sell us, turning America into a giant prison. Mike, I appreciate your call. You guys got any comments on how, regardless of what happened with 9/11, how it's been used to transform our society?
I think it's always easy to use even genuine crimes, and I don't think this was what it was presented as. But like, let's say really is a serial killer on the loose. It's great opportunity to act on that fact and make everybody afraid to live and interact. So you destroy social structures that might be an affront to large. And I think it's local constabularies and corporatists. You can cut those apart by making people more afraid to interact. And I think 9/11 needs something along the lines of what Anonymous is doing. Like when I was in England, there was a great moment where they have this anti-Scientology kind of move over there and these guys showed up at the Scientology Center in London wearing the V for Vendetta masks, and an army of them showed up. It was amazing to watch. And the news had to cover it just because it was entertaining. You know what I mean? There was an element of they learned a valuable lesson about branding and marketing, the sigil magic that is large corporations.
Well, it was something different. It's like instead
of just a bunch of billboards.
It was like the folks that danced at the Jefferson Memorial and got arrested. That got giant attention because it was novel. Or not protesting outside the Texas Capitol, storming into it got national attention.
Exactly. And I think there's a value to something similar like that at the 9/11 site that is complete silence. I mean, they had those zombie fallouts where people would, to make a point about radioactivity and those things, people would dress up as zombies and fall around a nuclear reactor. That gets on the news, and it draws more attention than a bunch of people with billboards because that's too easy to ignore.
We got to think smart. Richard, your take on that?
Yeah, and
entertaining.
To put it in a phrase, in a soundbite, I think with things like 9/11 and 10th anniversaries of things like that, the message is too often how our world has changed and too little of how our world really hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. How the new boss is the old boss. How this moment in history is very similar to a moment in history from 50 years ago or 100 years ago where opportunists came in and took away freedom. I mean, that's, the Patriot
Yeah,
Act,
like the Red Terror. They use that to take the general public's rights. Instead of actually going after the, quote, commies over in Russia.
It's like the gays are the new blacks kind of idea. Is that the onslaught gay people are going to marry and they're going to try to inject their gay agenda and all that stuff. That's the same thing in the 60s. It was black people were coming to marry your white daughters and that kind of thing. And it was used as as a crowbar to keep people from going, we're not that different, actually.
And there's also no, there's a lot of conversation about, the way the world changed and what these people symbolically meant, and very little conversation about, let's talk again about what exactly happened here. Mm-hmm. Let's have that conversation.
And ultimately, what kind of security do we genuinely need, and what security do we not need? And we can all agree as a group that there's a certain line we don't have to go past, that there's a certain amount of risk in life, and we can be okay with it.
Stay there, guys. We got 12 more minutes on this side. I'm going to jam in Scott, Janine, Matt, Mike, and John. That'll be it for calls, but I want to hear from you on the other side. We'll be right back. Our guest, Hal Sparks, with HalSparks.com. And
David J. Smith for Newswatch Magazine. Did you know that the United Nations is a